And hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Mythic Rewinds. I'm your host, Wookie Monster, and I'll be going over last week's, predictions and how I did, how I fared. And I'll be going over this week's matches, which we are in week 4 out of 5 for the regular season of Starcaster Series. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. We're about to wrap things up pretty much for the most part with Starcaster season, at least for the regular season, and then we have the obviously 2 weeks of playoffs. But yeah, I'm gonna get into it real short. It's gonna be a really small. Not. I'm gonna keep it short because I do have a cast to get to in a little while here, but. I don't have any stats available either. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of a mishap with the stats coming in for the new team, so I don't want to, I'll probably have a better stat layout for next week instead of having one for this week, so... oh, I gotta turn up my volume again? Oh my gosh. Let me see. Don't show top stats. Yeah, I gotta say, now that we have more information on the stat page, you can definitely check that out for yourself. They have all the stats, or at least most of the stats up for most of the games. Hopefully this is a better volume. It looks pretty good to me. But anyways, yeah, let's get into it. Let me switch scenes here. We're gonna get into week 3 standings, which... These standings look pretty similar to last week's. They're not. I guess they're not really. There's not too much of a change. I do want to highlight that I do have week 2 standings comparatively, and in the Division 1 Friday, Mythic Prefno Leash actually gets the 2-0, right, and so they move up to first place. Which I did kind of predict that it would be. I think I predicted that it would be a 2-0, so I'm happy about that. I got that one right. As for, I think it was... Oh, which one was it? Needlessly Large Rods and Salty Mandrakes? Yeah. So I think they faced off. And now they're both 7-7 because it was a 2-1 for the Salty Mandrakes. I don't think I predicted that one right. I think I said that it was going to be in Needlessly Large Rod's favor, so I was kind of wrong about that. But either way, it's still very, very close. Either 3 of these teams could knock each other down a peg. We do have some spicy matchups for week 4 and week 5, so this is definitely going to change. I think it's very sad to see Clarity and Clarity Clear aren't doing too well. But, you know, you have 2 weeks. You could, technically, either of these teams, depending on, I'm not sure what their bye week situation is, but they could still hit the top spot, or at least hit 3rd place, you know, and try to fight for that 2nd seed. But, you know, we'll see about that division. Moving on, though, we have the 2nd division, which didn't change at all, as you can see. I'm switching through, and it has not changed whatsoever. But just to go over what happened, TPO Argonauts actually got taken a game off, and I think I predicted that from Agoat. They actually did take a game off, so I think that was... I think I said that Agoat was either going to 2-1 or get 1-2'd. If I remember correctly, like, my memory is just not doing it today, but that happened. So hey, I mean, Agoat definitely have a chance to get 2nd seed here. Bad draft game 1. I mean, yeah, it was pretty rough, but y'all did manage to get the 2 points, so you're still in 1st place. We Hate Renekton right behind them with the 2-0. I think I actually did predict that one right for sure. I know that for sure. I was like, yeah, no Penta. Like I said, I would have loved to see, you know, them take a game off of We Hate Renekton, but that did not happen. I said, prove yourselves and rise, and you guys did not rise, so I'm sorry. But yeah, then Agoat and Knowledge Yield Strength. I think that they definitely still have a chance to get to 2nd seed here in these next 2 weeks. I don't think any one of these teams will necessarily like have no chance. I think there's definitely a chance for all these teams to try to get to the second spot. You have 2 weeks left, but yeah, and I think that it's definitely going to be a lot of work for the people who have 3 points, because you'll have to, if you have a bye this week, it'll be 2 points, right? I think No Penta has the bye this week. And then you'll have to get the 3 remaining points and then hope that the other team either, goes 0-2 or 1-2, because that's going to give you the best chance for you to 2-0 in the final week. So that's definitely a point. I think Division 2 is definitely looking spicy here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, it's going to be good. I think that a lot of these coming matchups for this week are going to be fantastic, as we're going to get into round 4 Friday bracket. We got Clarity versus Clarity Clear, and they're in 3rd and 4th, or 4th and 5th spots currently in the bracket right now, just to remind you guys. And then we have Mythic Pref No Leash and the Salty Matrix. That is a match that I really wanted to see, because these are 2 teams, going back to the standings here, these are 2 teams that are very close. All 3 of those top teams are very close in contention with each other, and I feel like either one of those teams could take the cake in that matchup. So I guess I'll go ahead and predict, and then obviously we have Needlessly Large Rods as the bye team for this week. I do think that going over Clarity and Clarity Clear, both teams have struggled a lot this season. But I definitely think that either one could, this is like you're getting points on the board game. This is like almost like a week 1. So it's kind of rough for them to say like, oh, like we're the better team, which they haven't faced off, and they're both at the same starting point. So I think I'm gonna give it, just looking at the rosters, I think I'm gonna give it to Clarity Clear, just for the fact that they have they've had a consistent roster this entire split. I think that Clarity does have some good players according to their OPGGs, but I think it's gonna be a 2-1 in Clarity Clear. Just random guess. It could go either way, honestly, with these 2 teams. They do have a lot of work. I do hope that one of them gets a 2-0, because obviously that will kind of try to get them back to get maybe some sort of handle on a 2nd place, but it's going to be really hard. So it might happen. But yeah, and then Mythic Pref No Leash and Salty Matrix. This is a hard one. Both of these teams have really strong players, but just out of sheer there's no real right answer here, right? I think both of these teams are very strong. Salty Mandrakes came out swinging, being having the bye the first week, 2-0ing the second week, and it just continues from there, right? So I think it's gonna be a 2-1 for Mythic Pref No Leash. I do think that they have a lot of consistency, when it comes down to it. I do think that the amount of, I guess, upsets or like unexpectancy, I guess would be the correct word for the Salty Mandrakes, does play a factor in this. Like, Mythic Pref No Leash has never faced this team, does not know that they maybe have scrimmed against them, but I'm not even sure if they have. Salty Mandrakes, though, looking very strong, so I definitely think that it's going to be a tough one. I think, honestly, it could go 2-1 either side. This matchup is really... We really want to watch this one. So I that's what I think. Prove me wrong. Make it a 2-0 either side. That would be spicy. I'd be completely wrong at that point and just have to give up casting, so... We'll see about that one. But I definitely think both of these teams will stand up to each other, will not hold punches back. Moving on, though, to Saturday bracket. We got TPO No Penta versus Knowledge Yield Strength. And then we have TPO We Hate Renekton versus Goat. We saw that Goat actually did take a game off last week of one of the TPO teams. So that the top TPO team in this bracket actually TPO Argonauts. So I was pleasantly surprised that they were able to get a point on the board. But We Hate Renekton is going to be a little bit of I think it's going to be equal contested, if not harder. This is a team that we've seen before. I mean, all of TPO have scrimmaged against this team. They're very hard to beat. Agode, I just don't know if they have the consistency to say, like, hey, they're going to 2-0 this team. But I do think they might 2-1. I think that it's possible that Agode does 2-1. They have some consistent players, and looking at their stat lines, they do have a lot of the same people we saw last season with Agode. So I definitely think it could work out for them. They're starting to find their footing, and it's a little bit late in the season to try to start to find that, but it'd be like that sometimes, right? So but yeah, I think it's 2-1 over to Agode. I'm hoping for that. It's like if that happens, that means that they have a chance to get to the second seed. So I'm hoping for that. It might not be that way. I can obviously see that We Hate Renekton has been very strong throughout the entire season. Have dropped a game or two, but with every other team, that's not uncommon. So yeah, I'm hoping Agode actually finds their footing in this one and gets it 2-1 at least. And then for TPO No Penta versus Knowledge Yield Strength, now Galaxy's team, Knowledge Yield Strength, they're struggling a little bit. Throughout the season, they do have some points on the board, but one of them was a bye, and then they went 1-2. So it's going to be really difficult to judge whether they're going to be able to beat No Penta. No Penta has been on the bottom side of the bracket this entire season as well, but I think they have a little bit better consistency. They did 2-0 at one point. I don't remember what team it was. Might have been Agode. Yeah, it might have been, but I definitely think that TPO No Penta will take this one. I think it's not going to go without a fight, though. I do think another 2-1 is coming. I know I've said like 2-1s for like all of these, literally all of these, but it'd be like that, right? Sometimes like you have to fight back and find your 1 point at least, or prove me wrong, 2-0. So if there is any 2-0s, keep in mind, I will be wrong on any of these. So I think that it wraps it up for that. Share your thoughts. I see a lot of 2-0s in the chats. TPO 2-0 other teams. I mean, you guys didn't actually 2-0 Agode. So what do you mean? What do you mean? There's always a chance for one of these teams to just take 1 point off you, and that 1 point is going to be big when it comes to these next 2 weeks. But yeah, that is the brackets, and that is this current standings. I haven't really had much base. We do have a little bit of time. Got about 5 minutes or so before I have to go, but we do have a little bit of time to answer any questions, I guess, comments, concerns with the rest of the season. I know stats have been kind of yeesh on some parts. I'm still trying to map it out with Volps to make sure that those are allocated appropriately. But yeah, it's definitely going to be I think a rough few weeks. I know there's been a lot of roster changes lately. Hopefully you guys can get those in, finalize them for playoffs, because like I said, the format structure is going to be different. You're going to have to lock your rosters October 22nd or 26th, excuse me. That's 2 days before playoffs start. And just going over like the dates and things, I guess that would be a good idea, is to go over that. Playoffs will start, I believe it is, let me double check, the 28th. That's a Friday. Friday the 28th, that is going to be the first semifinals. So there's 2 semifinal games. They are going to be scheduled at the same time, so we will have to say, like, hey, which is the better of the matchups? and pick one to stream. Now, if they're at different times, let's say one's in the afternoon and one is in the night, we could possibly swing both. That is a possibility. I would totally be down to do that because I love just seeing these semifinals games and finals games in action. So if that's a possibility, hey, go for it. If not, if both teams have to schedule during the night, that's okay too. We'll just have to pick one. So, yep. 6 out of 7 games. Show Galaxy Fox's stats on Kaisa. You know, actually, you know, I have heard that he has been letting, like, people have been letting his Kaisa get there, and you know, him to be able to play it, and he's been popping off on it. So I mean, that in itself is like, I mean, there's ways to draft around these characters, but sometimes you just gotta let it go, man. You just gotta be like, all right, this is too much of a problem. They're playing a comfort champion. They're playing something that you know, in this elo that a lot of people struggle against, or something like that, right? So it's definitely have to draw the line somewhere when it comes down to that. Let me actually bring up those stats while we have a little bit of time here, because I'm a little bit curious if that was one of the games that was updated, or players that was updated. Ooh, gosh. What the heck happened? Oh, okay, so we do have the other 2 teams added here. So I'm just going to go over a few players here and there, maybe. Oh my gosh. Okay. There we go. All right, I just want to bring this up real quick because this is actually pretty dope. I don't know if it'll show. Does this show? Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that works. It's very bright. I apologize. It's very bright for me too. Let me see if I can zoom in here a little bit. So, so most of the games on Galaxy Fox have been Kaisa. This is actually really interesting. And if we scroll all the way over, most of them, besides one, is a dub. And you even got a dub on Tristana. So it's not the only character he could play, but this is pretty good stat lines here. I mean, 85 kills, average KDA. This is literally like, this is the one stat I encourage everybody to keep track of the most. Average KDA means a lot, because that means that you're dying less. You're getting kills and assists more than you are dying. And he's only got 28 deaths. That's a quarter of his kills, and I think that's a very good stat line. But that is a massive average to have over, well, how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 games? That's incredible. I think this is a very good player. You should probably ban out his Kaisa. I think I've said that before last week. But yeah, you should definitely keep track of what these players are playing. Just gonna go over some of the Salty Mandrake's games. I guess there's only one here. There's 4 there. What the heck? Well, I think Bianca didn't play for one of the games, right? So that might be why. We do have some stats for the newer teams. These are from week 2 and week 3. So looking at some of these, I guess I don't have much time, but yeah, you can take a look at your leisure. These should be most of the games. I think this looks pretty correct. I know that one of the Odd Goat games was not played with the tournament code, so that's why I think this is like one match, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was a 2-1, so that's why that's not in there. But most of these stats are in there. Go over Wild Snob. Let's see here. Yeah, they do have the stats for him to go and switch different lanes. So, yeah, this is you guys switched. It's funny. Did you guys even win? You guys did win. You actually lost. So Wild Snob lost 1 game in the jungle. Aztec, did he lose the game in the jungle? Oh, better jungler wins. I think you have to make that change now. He won both of the games there on jungle, and he actually lost the top game. Yeah, he lost the top game. So what is going on here? I'm just kidding. But yeah, that is kind of all the time I have, because I do have to get to a cast very soon. But those stats are yet again in the documents channel on the Discord, so go check them out. Study your teams. This is the last few weeks are coming up, so definitely got to prepare. And I think that we already have some games kind of scheduled to stream. However, the kicker is that I will not be here this weekend, so I'm trying to find a producer. If you guys know any producers that might want to join, let me know. I do have some producers that I'm talking to right now, so we'll see about that. Hopefully, I can get them set up for this weekend. But the two games I think that we're going to go for is the one. I think it's No Penta and Knowledge, and then obviously the Pref No Leash and Salty Mandrakes. So hopefully we get a producer for those. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it. So yeah, that was a quick rundown of the stats, the schedule for this week. Hope you guys take it easy for this week 4. Remember, we're getting close to playoffs, so definitely prepare as much as you can. And yeah, that's going to be it from me. I have been Wookie Monster. This has been another episode of Mythic Rewind. I will catch you guys this week. Hopefully, I mean, I will be out of town, but I will be answering DMs. So, but please do not DM me about anything that, about the games. Refer to the tickets. Post in the tickets, please. But I will be around in case anything drastic happens, I guess. As long as I'm not, like, on duty or something like that. So we'll figure that out. But yeah, everybody have a good night.